Hi, you're watching Reddit Confessions. If you think pranks are harmless, you haven't heard this story. Buckle up. The last thing I said to her was, "Okay, I understand." Then I ended the call. No shouting, no tears, no asking why. Just those 4 words, and a silence so sharp, it cut through her laughter on the other end of the line. It wasn't meant to be real. At least not to her. She'd gone out with her friends for their usual girls' night, which basically meant overpriced cocktails, half-hearted life advice, and a dozen selfies they'd never post. I was home folding laundry when the phone rang. It was her. I answered, thinking maybe she was checking in. Instead, I heard giggling, lots of it. Then her voice, fake serious and theatrical. "It's over. We're done." More laughter. Someone in the background actually said, "He's gonna cry." That was it. That was the moment. She didn't know it yet, but everything shifted right then. I didn't say, "Is this a joke?" Or "How could you?" I didn't ask who was there or why she thought this was funny. I didn't beg, or plead, or defend myself like I usually do. I just said, "Okay, I understand." And I hung up. She called back a few minutes later. I didn't answer. Then again. Then her friend texted me, "Come on, Meryl. It was just a joke." Face with tears of joy lighten up. I didn't reply, because while they laughed, I was busy changing every lock on the house. That night I moved fast. I didn't sleep. I packed everything that was mine. I canceled her cards. I froze the joint account. I called a realtor friend at 2 a.m. and said 7 words I never thought I'd say. How fast can you list a house? By sunrise, I had done more damage with a calm mind than I ever could have with rage. But the real moment, the one no one will ever forget, came the next morning. Her mom called her. Loud, panicked, full hysteria. According to a neighbor who overheard everything through the open window, it went like this. "The house, Chelsea. The house. What did you just let him do to the house?" That was when the laughter stopped, because suddenly, it wasn't a joke anymore. Chelsea thought she could fix everything with a dramatic entrance and a pout. I knew her patterns. The first step was denial, pretending it wasn't serious. The second was guilt-tripping. Third, playing the victim. She'd rehearsed it in past arguments like it was theater. But this time, the curtains were already down, and the spotlight had moved. By the time she pulled into the driveway, still in her party clothes and heels that made her limping more dramatic than necessary, the for sale sign was already staked in the front yard. It wasn't subtle. Bright red letters. Her name was never on the deed, only mine. I had moved faster than she ever expected I could. She stormed to the front door, yanked the handle, and it didn't budge. Code? Changed. Key? Useless. She tried the garage. Same story. When she peered through the front window, her jaw dropped. Half the furniture was gone. Not stolen. Moved. Strategically. Deliberately. The framed photo of our wedding? Gone. The canvas she painted on our first anniversary? Still there, but crooked, with a sticky note across it that read, "Laughed yet?" She stood frozen, her phone to her ear. I didn't pick up. She left voicemails. Some angry, some shaky. One where she pretended none of it was real. "Meryl, come on. You knew it was a joke, right? Like it wasn't serious." But I didn't respond, because for her it was a joke. For me it was clarity. While she called and paced the lawn, her mom pulled up. I watched from the upstairs window of a nearby Airbnb I'd booked hours earlier. Her mom stepped out of the car in slippers. No makeup, panic all over her face. She gripped Chelsea's shoulders and said something I couldn't hear. Chelsea collapsed onto the front steps, covering her face. That was the first time I'd seen her cry in public. And I wish I could say it gave me some kind of satisfaction. But all I felt was hollow, because deep down I didn't want revenge. I wanted her to treat me like a person, but she made me a punchline. So I rewrote the ending, and what came next would make her wish I'd just stayed angry. By Monday morning, she had sobered up, not just from wine, but from the illusion that she still had control over anything. I'd anticipated every excuse, every trick, every tear. Chelsea wasn't used to consequences. She was used to cleaning up messes with makeup and charm. But legal contracts? Not her strong suit. That's where I held the cards. The house was under my name. Always had been. I'd offered to put her on the deed last year. She said she didn't care about the paperwork. Said it was our home no matter whose name was printed. Now, that little oversight had turned into her eviction notice. She found the envelope taped to the back gate. Inside, a copy of the property title, the official listing agreement, and a note from my lawyer, short, blunt, airtight. No dramatics, just a reminder that she had zero legal claim. Her mother read it first. The color drained from her face. Chelsea, still trying to act like she had a say in any of this, shouted things like, "You can't sell the house without me?" And, "This is illegal." But I knew better. She never asked questions when things benefited her. She signed joint account permissions, spending cards, even online subscriptions, but never bothered reading the clauses. She laughed when I said we needed a prenup. Well, I did one anyway. Her signature was on it. Digital, time-stamped, backed up. She signed it before we even got engaged. Hidden in a series of relationship growth documents I'd shared after therapy. I never hid it. I just didn't call it what it was. Now, it was protecting me like armor. When she realized it was real, that I wasn't bluffing, wasn't playing games, she tried calling again. 23 times in one day. I let them all go to voicemail. Each one became more frantic. One started with, "I messed up," and ended with, "Please don't throw it all away." But here's the truth no one tells you. Once someone laughs at your pain in front of an audience, there's no going back. I wasn't throwing it away. I was finally picking me. And soon, she'd realize I hadn't even started yet. Chelsea didn't realize the spotlight could burn until it was on her for once. That weekend, she tried to play damage control, not with me but with everyone else. I wasn't responding to her messages, so she turned to mutual friends. Texted vague things like, "It was a misunderstanding," and "He's being dramatic." But screenshots have a way of traveling, and I'd already sent a few to the right people, including the audio recording. See, what Chelsea didn't know that night was that my phone had automatically saved our call. I'd set it up years ago after a billing dispute with a client, and honestly forgot it was still enabled. But there it was, her voice, on speaker, telling me it's over, followed by her friends laughing like I was the evening's entertainment. I didn't post it online. I didn't need to. I just sent it to 5 people. One of them was Lana, a friend we'd both known since college. Chelsea had confided in her for years, thinking Lana would always take her side. But what Chelsea forgot was that Lana had gone through a humiliating divorce after her husband blindsided her with a prank that turned into real abandonment. It wasn't funny then, and it wasn't funny now. Lana didn't reply to Chelsea's message. She forwarded the audio clip to the entire Girls Who Brunch group chat. No caption, no context, just play this. According to another friend, who still talks to me, the group chat exploded. Tanya, the ringleader of that night's joke, tried defending it at first. Something about just wine and laughs. But several of the women, especially those who'd been through real betrayal, didn't see the humor anymore. One by one, they left the chat. By Sunday night, Chelsea wasn't just locked out of the house. She was locked out of the social circle she'd clung to for years. She called me again at midnight. I didn't answer. Then came the text I hadn't expected. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but can we talk?" And for a moment I almost said yes. But then I remembered how it felt to be laughed at while I stood alone, folding her laundry, thinking she was calling to say she missed me. She had the stage. Now I had the silence. And I wasn't giving it up yet. I didn't respond to Chelsea's message. Not because I wanted to hurt her. Honestly, hurting her wasn't even my goal. I just wanted space, distance, time to finally think without being gaslit into believing I was too sensitive, too needy, too boring. But then came the moment I knew she'd break. It started with a text from her mom. "What did you do with her things?" That's when it hit her. The house wasn't just cleaned out, it was methodically gutted. I'd removed every item that was hers. Every dress, every bottle of overpriced skincare, every photo frame where she was smiling like she owned the world. All boxed, labeled, and gone before she ever made it home. But I didn't trash it. I'm not that guy. Instead, I rented a climate-controlled storage unit 15 minutes outside of town, put everything in there, paid for 6 months upfront, changed the passcode to something only I knew. Then I taped a copy of the lease contract inside the mailbox at our house, right beneath a note that said, "This is where your memories live now." She found it within the hour. That same day, I got 3 missed calls from her. Then a fourth, a voicemail this time. Her voice was brittle, like glass barely holding its shape. "You didn't have to do all that," she said. I said I was sorry. "Do you even care anymore?" The truth is, I did care. That's what made it worse. You don't break down like this for someone you never loved. You don't unravel your entire life overnight for someone you didn't believe in. But her apology didn't come in a whisper at home, eye to eye. It came only after her reputation cracked, after her mother panicked, after her friends disappeared. She wasn't sorry she broke me. She was sorry I didn't stay broken. And that realization was the only reason I didn't text her back. I was done building bridges for people who only walked across them to set fire to the other side. She turned me into a joke. Now I was writing the punchline, and it hadn't even landed yet. 3 days passed in silence. Then, on the 4th morning, I got a notification from the storage unit's app, motion detected. I'd installed a small security camera on the inside wall, pointed toward the door. Not to spy, really, just to be sure. She showed up around 7:30 a.m., alone, wearing the hoodie I gave her on our first road trip. The one she used to sleep in. The one she once called her safe place. I watched on my phone as she stood in the doorway, staring at the neat rows of boxes, her own handwriting scrawled across the labels. Books, winter clothes, office, Meryl's gifts. She didn't move for almost 10 minutes. Just stood there, motionless, like she expected it all to vanish if she blinked. Then she spotted the envelope. It wasn't taped to anything dramatic. No glitter bomb, no gotcha moment. Just a plain, white envelope tucked between 2 clear bins. On the front, I'd written, "If you still think it was funny, don't open this." Of course, she opened it. Inside was a single printout, a photo, a screenshot from my phone. It was the moment she called me. Speakerphone on, friends laughing, her grinning ear to ear. Her friend Tanya had posted a boomerang of the moment, thinking it would disappear in 24 hours. But someone had saved it, sent it to me, with the caption, "This is brutal skull skull skull." Chelsea stared at that image, her frozen in time, laughing as she told me we were over. I watched her on the camera, jaw tightening, hand trembling. She tried to crumple the photo but stopped halfway. Her shoulders slumped. She slid down against the metal wall and sat there, knees to her chest. I should have felt victorious, but I didn't. I just felt done. She messaged me that night. Not to argue, not to beg. Just one line. "I didn't know I looked like that." Neither did I. Because when someone shows you who they are in public, you can't unsee it. It's not about mistakes, we all make them. It's about what you choose to laugh at. And she chose me. Chelsea always underestimated silence. She filled rooms with words, made jokes to soften blows, weaponized laughter when things got too real. But silence? That terrified her. It was the one language she never learned to speak. After the storage visit, the messages stopped. For 2 days, not a single word. I thought maybe we were finally done, not in anger but in acceptance. But then I got the email. No subject line. No greeting. Just a shared Spotify playlist link. At first, I almost deleted it. But something in me, maybe morbid curiosity, maybe old habits, clicked it open. The title read, "If you still listen to this, you still matter." It was our old playlist. The one we used on long drives, nights we cooked together, or when she worked late and wanted something to keep her grounded. I'd forgotten it existed, but she hadn't. The first song was What Once Was by hers. Second was Holocene by Bon Iver. Third, the one that did it, was Half of My Heart by John Mayer. That one gutted me, not because of the lyrics but because I remembered the night we added it. We were sitting in a grocery store parking lot, rain pouring, laughing about nothing. She had her head on my shoulder, eyes closed, and whispered, "I hope I never lose this version of us." But she did. And now, all she could do was send me songs she wasn't brave enough to sing out loud. That night, I sat in my half-empty living room, surrounded by echo and quiet. I listened to the whole playlist. I let every track pull me through years of memories, both warm and sharp. Not to forgive her, not even to understand her, just to remember what it felt like to be chosen before I became entertainment. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I opened the Notes app on my phone and wrote one line. "I still listen, but I don't miss you. I miss who I thought you were." I didn't send it, just saved it. And then, for the first time, I slept the whole night through. Not because I was over it, but because for once, she didn't get to decide when the story ended. 2 weeks after Chelsea sent that playlist, I got a letter. A real one. Handwritten. Folded with care. No return address. Just my name. In her delicate, slanted handwriting I once recognized instantly. Inside was a single page. No long apology. No blame. Just this. I wanted to win. That night with my friends, I wanted to be the one who had the power. I didn't think you'd leave the stage before the applause. You did. And I finally understand what I cost myself. If there's anything left in your heart, please just know this. I'm not laughing anymore. I hope you are. I sat with that for a long time. Not because I needed to forgive her. I'd already done that quietly, sometime between the house sale and the last voicemail I never listened to. Not out of mercy, but because I couldn't carry her weight anymore. My back was tired. My heart was tired. The next morning, I did something I'd been avoiding for weeks. I opened the last sealed box labeled Meryl's Things, Bedroom. Inside was a small collection of items I didn't realize I'd packed away. A photo strip from our first trip to Nashville, a hotel room key from our anniversary in Monterey, and the old ceramic coffee mug she made me in a pottery class. The one that always leaked from the bottom. I laughed when I saw it. Not bitterly. Just honestly. A soft, human kind of laugh. Because maybe some things weren't built to hold everything they promised. Maybe some were just meant to exist for a while and be appreciated before they cracked. I put the mug on my shelf. Then I stepped outside. The air was cool, and for once, I didn't feel like the world was collapsing inward. I wasn't broken. I was rebuilding. And maybe, just maybe, that was the real punchline. What was the most surprising moment in this story for you? Have you ever found strength in walking away quietly? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned right here on Reddit Confessions, where every story finds its voice.